Our story starts here in Glasgow, Scotland, and it starts with a young 21-year-old builder by the name of Ethan Douglas. But Ethan hadn't always been a builder. Once upon a time, he was a very promising young right back in a Celtic youth team, best friends with Kieran Tierney. Some coaches said that Ethan had more promise than Kieran. But on his way to training at 16 years old, Ethan's bus took a wrong turn, and it was a turn that would change his life forever. It hit a low bridge. Ethan was sat at the top deck at the very front. He suffered serious brain injuries and was placed in a coma for over 12 months. And when he awoke from the coma, not only was he advised to never play football again, but he found out his young girlfriend was pregnant and had given birth while he was in the coma. With his football dreams in tatters, Ethan Douglas had to get a job and went down to his local building site. But his best friend Kieran, who was riding high and having an awesome career with Celtic and Scotland, had never forgotten his best friend and always helped him out wherever he could. And on a sunny weekend, Kieran treated his own friend Ethan to a day at the races. But he wasn't here just to watch the horses. Kieran had a letter in his hand, a letter for Ethan, a letter that would change his life forever. Next we head over to Lisbon in Portugal, and the next part of the story starts here with the very wealthy Lopez family. Now young Tiago Lopez had been born with a silver spoon in his mouth. For his recent 18th birthday, his father had bought him a Ferrari with his own private number plate. Now it wasn't only money that Tiago Lopez had landed on his feet with. Ever since he was a young boy, he had shown immense technical ability with a football. Growing up through school, he was hailed as the next Ronaldo. But maybe it was coming from a rich family. Maybe it was because he never wanted for anything. But young Tiago had the wrong attitude. He felt like everything was just going to fall into his lap. And after a failed trial with Benfica, where he had a fight with his teammates and his coaches, he'd been kicked out of the club. And after a year without anyone showing any interest in him, it looked like young Tiago's football dreams were definitely over. But there was one man who hadn't given up, and that was his father. Blinded by the love for his son, he was about to hand his son a letter that was going to give him one last chance at becoming a footballer. Next we arrive in Kolkata in India, a beautiful place and a city that loved its cricket. Now young boys in this town did not grow up wanting to be the next Lionel Messi. They wanted to be the next Sachin Tendulkar. And this was something MLS scout Bill Turner was finding out the hard way. He'd been sent to India to try and find the next special talent, but was quickly realising that no kids in this town wanted to play football. After giving up all hope and booking his ticket back to the States, Bill sat at a roadside cafe and watched a few children playing cricket, and that's when he saw something. That's when his eyes lit up. Maybe, just maybe, he'd found that special talent. Because over on the park, he was watching a young lad field and catch everything. Every time a ball went near him, he had the reflexes of a cat. It was like his hands were made out of glue. He did not drop a thing. Surely this kid could translate them skills into becoming a goalkeeper. So Bill spent the next few weeks training him, putting him in goal and blasting the football at him over and over and over and over again. And this kid saved every single shot. So Bill took Arav back to his village and had a meeting with Arav and his family and told them about an opportunity that could not only change Arav's life but his entire family's life. And he passed Arav a very special letter. Last stop on the tour, we head to Ghana and the city of Tamale. Now in Tamale, BBC News reporter John Percival was reporting on the plight of young children in the area and their passion for football, and how most of them come from nothing and have nothing, but they all unify to play football every weekend. And it was after he'd recorded his news segment back at his hotel, going over the footage, he noticed a young boy in the background with skills he had never seen before. So John went back down to the park the next day and introduced himself to Asida Aban. Now, young Asida, he had no dreams of being a footballer. He used to walk 10 miles a day just to get water for his village. The only thing he knew about football was he liked Manchester United because someone had given him an old training top years ago. Now, John was a news reporter. He wasn't a football scout, but he could see this kid had talent. And through a friend of his, he'd heard about a special opportunity. An opportunity that would cost John money. But he thought it'd be a great investment. He thought he could give a chance to a kid who really deserved it. So we set up a meeting with Asida's village and met all of Asida's family. And he'd give them a letter that could not only change their lives, but potentially the entire villages. So all 4 boys opened that letter and it read, "Dear Sir, we are happy to tell you that your application to take part in our inaugural MLS training camp draft at our new training school facility in Los Angeles has been accepted. And your entry fee of $3,000 has been approved. You have won a place and an opportunity to win an MLS contract and to be drafted by an MLS team for the 2018 season. Out of the 1,000 players taking part in our camp, only 100 will be drafted at the end of the process. You will spend a month in camp being trained hard. You will be playing competitive matches and you will also be studying in the classroom with some of the country's best and brightest coaches. You will also be watched by scouts from every MLS team who will be evaluating your abilities, skills and mental attitude. You will also be required to attend interviews with representatives from every MLS team so they can get a good idea of what type of person and player you are. At the end of training camp, the draft will start and 4 rounds will take place, with 25 players being drafted in each round. If you are lucky enough to be drafted, you'll be awarded a 4-year, $1,000 a week contract. And within those 4 years, the team that drafts you will be free to trade you to another team if they so wish. The MLS is also working with the US government to try and improve the quality of our national team. So we will also be awarding all non-Americans who are drafted American citizenships in the hope that one day you will choose to play for our great nation. We feel that this is a fantastic opportunity for all young players to become professional soccer players. We expect you to all behave in the right manner, be polite and on time every day, and listen to your coaches. And most of all, have fun and enjoy the process. We look forward to meeting you. Have a safe journey and good luck. Yours faithfully, MLS President Mark Abbott." So the 4 young men found themselves on a plane to Los Angeles, and in the blink of an eye, all 4 were stood outside LAX airport. The next day they were sent to the new facility in Los Angeles. Imagine the Etihad and St. George's of England mixed together and put on steroids. This facility was the best in the entire world, and they were put through their paces, fitness tests, skill tests, competitive matches. It wasn't easy, but all 4 boys tried their best. Some more than others, and that was going to show when it was time for the draft. And the draft started. 4 rounds, 100 players to get picked, 25 players per round. Well, round 1 came and round 1 went, and none of our 4 boys got picked, so it was on to the second round. And with the 32nd pick, the Colorado Rapids chose Ghanaian midfielder Asida Aban. Now, Asida Aban was a 16-year-old from Ghana, a defensive midfielder who could play in the centre and even cover a bit further forward, but the kid had a lot of potential. He was very determined. This is someone who never thought he'd get given a chance like this. He was in a completely alien world, but he was determined to make a go of it and become a professional. The second round finished and it was on to the third round. 100 spots left and lots of players hoping and praying they'd get picked. The 64th pick was New England Revolution and they chose Scottish right back Ethan Douglas. Now, Ethan Douglas had all the promise in the world when he was younger, but this kid hadn't touched a football for close to 6 years. Now 20, almost 21, he still had ability. He had terrific mentals. He was determined. He was a leader. He was brave. His physicals needed improvement. So you could say do his technicals. Now, most scouts were in agreement that if he was 18 years old and wasn't at risk of brain injury, he'd have been a top 3 pick. With the 3rd round over, it was now on to the 4th round. Only 25 places left, and 2 of our guys still hadn't been picked. But that was about to change because the Philadelphia Union used the 81st pick to choose young Indian goalkeeper Arav Babu. Now, all the way through training camp, this kid had been exceptional. He was very professional. He was very quiet because he couldn't speak English. He could only speak Hindi. And the fact that he'd hardly played any football ever did affect where he was chosen in the draft. Most scouts said his handling skills were amazing. His reflexes were like a puma, but it was the rest of his goalkeeping game. His aerial reach, his command of the area, his communication, his first touch, his kicking. A lot of his attributes with goalkeeping needed improvement. Now there's only a few places left in the 4th round, and pick after pick kept getting made. Thiago Lopez sat there, looking at the floor, thinking to himself, is my attitude, is my mentals really going to do this to me again? Have I really blown another chance? My father is going to kill me. And then boom, with the 99th pick, the Minnesota United chose him. Now it's quite obvious this kid had technique. His first touch and dribbling were amazing. This lad had been touted as the next Ronaldo. Not only that, he was super quick, but there were reasons why everyone in Portugal had turned their back on him. There was reasons why his reputation was in the mud, and it was his attitude. Hello, I'm Bood. Welcome to the Lost Boys and welcome to Los Angeles. This is another story-based experiment on the channel with 4 guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that little story then, because I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to these boys. Now if you do enjoy this, make sure you smash the like button. It really, really does help me. If you're brand new, hopefully by the end of the episode, you'll be a subscriber. All my subs, old and new, thank you very much. I've recently hit 7,000 subscribers. Now to celebrate, I'm giving away these. That's a front. Ta-da! MSI gaming headphones. About 90 quid's worth. They are amazing. Got a pair myself. They're brilliant. I'm giving these away for free. Now all you got to do to enter is go and watch my Denton Villa series, episode 49. All the details on how to enter that competition are in that video. So yeah, go and enter, go and watch it. Good luck. But yeah, this video now, I'm going to try and get through it as quick as I can. It's a story about 4 different guys who are all lost to the footballing world, but they've all come together and they've all been given, well, some have been given a second chance, some have been given the last chance, some have been given their only chance. So they're all different ages. It's going to be interesting to see how they all grow. Have they got time to grow? As people's attitudes going to affect him, especially Thiago Lopez. I've made him mainly because if you see my Jekyll and Hyde video, well, Mr. Hyde wasn't technically gifted and he was an arsehole, and his mentals really affected, really stopped him being the best centre half in the world, because he should have been, but that really did stop him. This kid's the opposite. He is technically gifted, but he's got the same mentals as Mr. Hyde. So how his mentals going to affect him again? Oh well, his technical ability carry him on through. But yeah, all the lads are different. I think you've got your idea, the idea about who they are and what they are. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to have a quick look at them now. Then we're going to jump forward 10 years to the year 2028 and see what they've been up to. And then we're going to have another jump forward another 10 years to 2038 and see where they all ended up. So yeah, hopefully you're going to enjoy it. Again, thanks for watching. Let's get into it. Now you've seen their profiles when we're going through the draft. If you want to have a look at them in a bit more detail, feel free to go back and pause it. We're going to have a look at their information. This is Asida Aban. He's obviously from Ghana. Now he's a defensive midfielder. He's got a driven personality. This kid's been given a chance and he does not want to let it go. He could, I mean, this contract alone would change his entire village's life. If he makes it as a top star, and then, I mean, wow, what could he do for his village? What could he do for his country? I mean, this is a kid that was walking 10 miles every day to go and get water for his village. And now he's in America, playing for Colorado, being treated like a freaking king. Well, for him, but he's been treated like a king, so hopefully he can do well. I'm rooting for this kid. He's got an agent already, Matt LaRock. No idea who he is. I haven't made any agents. He's a media-friendly guy. Now, what I've done with him, he's all-rounded, so he's not super nice, but he's not an arsehole. He's like a middle guy. Next, we've got Ethan Douglas, the lad from Scotland who had his career taken away by being in a bus accident. And, you know, now he's found himself a bit older with a second chance, thanks to his friend, Kieran Tierney, paid the £3,000 fee, sent him off to America, and he's grabbed the chance with both hands because he's a good builder. But he could provide a better life for his wife and his daughter, couldn't he, if he does well here. So yeah, he's at New England. He's an attacking fullback. He's just like his friend. Them two would complement each other. Kieran said that in interviews, that every time he laces his boots up for Scotland, he always imagines what it would be like to have his best friend on the other side, and now that could happen. 18-year-old Arav Babu from India, the super fielder that can catch everything. Any ball came at him, he can catch it. In training camp, he played 4 competitive games, only conceded 1 goal, saved 3 penalties. The kid's got something, he's just not got everything. Plus the fact he can't speak English doesn't help. So he's got a lot to do. Not only has he got to try and learn different skills and learn the game of football, he's got to learn English, which ain't easy. Next we've got Thiago Lopez. Now Thiago, you've seen, he's quick, he can dribble, his first touch is amazing, and so is his technique. But it's his mentals. I mean, look at his media handling. Volatile, confrontational, outspoken, he's aggressive. He's a nutcase. He's going to be doing crunching tackles. He's probably going to kick off if you don't play. He's going to be hard work, and it's a reason why he's got a bad reputation in Portugal. And it's a reason why, from being 17 to 18 years old, he's done nothing. If you look at the season preview for this first year, you'll see none of the guys have really been picked by the best teams. They've all ended up at teams near the bottom. So, you know, you got Philadelphia at 20th. Next, you've got Colorado, New England. Minnesota are probably the best team, really, to be fair, at 12th. And they've probably got the hardest player to work with. But that's what I want to know. Are they going to be able to carve out a career in America? It's a good league. It's not the best league. But these guys have got no reputation. I've given them all 0 reputation. No one in the world knows who they are. They are truly lost boys. Do you know what I mean? No one knows them. They're starting from the bottom. But here we find Ethan, and he's in the Premier League, and he's been at a few teams before this. He's now 30 years old, probably touching on, well, he's going to turn 31 later on in the year, but I think he looks like a good player. I think he's obviously improved a little bit and carved out a very, very respectable career. The best of all, he's still Scottish, and he's got 66 caps. That means he's been playing with his best mate, which is perfect. Now you might notice he's valued at 35 million. So even at 30, this kid, he fulfilled his potential. Even though he lost all them years and he was forgotten about, his best friend didn't give up on him. And look at him now. So he was at New England for a while. Didn't play too much there, did he? And then went back home to Scotland. 1.5 million. Went to Aberdeen. And it did say he was an Aberdeen legend. He was at Aberdeen for years. Look at that. Played brilliantly. I'm buzzing it. I'm still buzzing it. He's in the Scotland team. I love that. Then he made a big money move to the Premier League for 12, just short of 13 million, and played the season with Leicester. And then he moved on again to Bournemouth, and he's been at Bournemouth now for 2.5 years. And what's brilliant is that in 2026, now you've got to remember, he's the only Scottish player I've ever made. So that's a real Scotland team. Got to 3rd at the World Cup. That is bloody brilliant. It just runners up in the Community Shield, which means Bournemouth must have done something the year before he signed. Let's move on to Asida Aban, the kid from Ghana. He's now 26, obviously he's a lot younger, and he's a good player. I think he definitely improved. He's worth 48 million, and it looks like he's played a lot of his time in Germany, most of it to be fair. I'll be honest with you, I thought he might be a little bit better than this, but he's like an all-round good player, and I think that's kind of what he's stayed as. Looking at his history, he stayed at Colorado a little bit longer than Ethan. He stayed there for a couple of years, which is nice, and then made a big money move to the Bundesliga, to Stuttgart, for 11 million. Played for Stuttgart for 4 seasons. Looks like he played a lot for him. I mean, he's not got outstanding stats, but I've noticed this with defensive midfielders. They don't always reflect how good they are in their average rating for some reason. They don't always get the best average rating, even when they do a good job. And he must have done a good job, because he got signed by Leipzig for 44.5 million. Now he's been there now for 3.5 years. I mean, he's done really well for himself. Competitions wise, he's yet to do anything. Obviously he made his debut for Ghana a while ago and scored the year later. When it comes to competitions, though, he's not won anything. And I've got all the leagues running. So he just hasn't won anything yet, which is unfortunate. But I don't think he's bothered. 125 grand a week. He's laughing. Now on to Arav Babu, the Indian goalkeeper and teammate of Asida. They're both at Leipzig. Random as anything. Now I was really interested to see if someone who's determined, can they improve as a player, and I think he's shown that. He was super determined to be and super professional. And you remember he only had handling and reflexes. Everything else was a pink, which was a 10 or an under. His aerial reach has massively improved. His command of the area has improved. Kicking and one-on-ones have got better. He's become a better goalkeeper. And you may have also noticed he's got about 92 caps for India, so he didn't choose to play for America either. So America have done this programme hoping they can unearth some talent and hoping that giving him the chance he'd say, oh, do you know what? I'll play for you. But so far, no one's done that. Now he played for Philadelphia for a while. I mean, he looked like first season he was okay, then he got straight in the team for the next 2 years. Made a massive move, the biggest move so far, 18.5 million to Dortmund. Played there for a year, did okay, and then moved on the next year for 25 million to Leipzig, where he's been. It looks like he was their number one keeper up until recently. Last but not least, we've got Thiago Lopez, who plays for Deportivo. The 27-year-old is Portuguese. He never chose to play for America, but he's never played for Portugal. I bet you he could get in the America squad. Now I did want to see, would his mentals affect him as a player? I think they probably have. I don't like he's improved as much as he should, because he should be a lot better than that. His potential ability is better than that. He's got slower, and he's 27. He used to be quicker than that. His dribbling hasn't improved. His first touch hasn't improved, but his technique's improved. Let's check out his career stats, and they are a bit all over the place. I mean, so he's at Minnesota, played for them 18 times. Now Liverpool have seen enough in him really, maybe because of his technicals. And Liverpool bought him for 1.7 million. Didn't play for them. He's gone out on loan to Bromby. Then he went on loan to Russia. Actually got a few games under his belt. Back to Liverpool. They're just thinking, God, this guy's an absolute arsehole. Loaned him out to some team in Portugal, where he actually probably played the most games he's ever played since his very first season at Minnesota. And then his contract's up. Signed for Deportivo on a free. And he looks like he's been a squad player. Even they loaned him out last year, and now they're trying to get rid of him at 27. If we have a look at what he's won, one trophy. Fair play to the kid. I think he's playing for Liverpool's under 23s though, because it's the Premier League Cup. Say we're going to jump forward to 2038, but we're going to have to come back a little bit earlier for Ethan Douglas to 2032. Now he's just retired last year, retired at Bournemouth, and he became a manager. Thing is, no one ever gives him a job, and he decides to call it a quits. So he's not even in the game after this year. And if we look at it, he did finish his career at Bournemouth. I mean, he went back home to Scotland, played there for a long time, got big money, moved to the Premier League, probably made a fortune in the Premier League. Looks like he's second last year, maybe it was injury, but he didn't play as much, but he bounced back in his last year. Now, fair enough, he never won a major trophy, never won a league title, never won a cup, but to come from where he came from, to still carve out a career like that in his home country, playing in the Premier League, playing for his country at a World Cup and getting to third. I mean, I think he can be very proud. Now we're going to jump forward to 2038. It's been 20 years and we're here with the Asida Aban, who's now 37, played 144 times for Ghana, and he's a coach. Now, he looked like he played at a couple more teams as well, which is quite interesting. He retired in 2036, so he's been a coach for 2 years. He just hasn't got a job yet. Now, he had a great career at Leipzig, didn't he? He put some years in there, but if you look at them last few years, looks like he'd started to maybe drop off a little bit. Made a free move to 1860 Munich, where he was still in the Bundesliga and played. So I bet he was buzzing with that. And then after that, he made a £1.2 million move. His last move to Austria, where he didn't really figure, did he? I wonder what happened there. That's a whole season with no playing. And then a second season, he got a few games in. Last season again, didn't play and just thought, yeah, let's call it quits. He can be proud with what he's achieved now. He got to a Pokal final, one of my favourite cups. I love the trophy. I love the Pokal trophy. With Leipzig and lost the final. But with Ghana, he won the African Cup of Nations. Hey, how prouder could you be? 1 minute you're in nothing. Years later, you're lifting the African Cup of Nations for Ghana. Next, we're going to go to Arav Babu. And this is the cricket kid, the kid that didn't even play football. He didn't have a clue. about football. He ended up having a really good goalkeeping career and ended up becoming a really good goalkeeper and played for India 152 times. And now he's a goalkeeping coach. Hasn't got a job, but obviously wants to teach young kids how to be goalkeepers. And if you look at his career, I think he can be chuffed. He had that little stint, didn't he, at Dortmund, and he was at Leipzig with his mate for years. And then I think I mentioned obviously, that he stopped playing and made a move to Saudi Arabia, and he bossed it in Saudi Arabia. It looks like he never missed a game. Now I will say, you can't get the Saudi Arabian League. You can download it from Steam, but I didn't do that, so we don't know. We can find out. We're going to find out if he won the league, but it won't show up if he won any Saudi Arabian leagues on here. But he did win something. He won the MLS All-Star game in 2020. I thought I might be able to, but sometimes you can still click on the league. Can't do it. It won't let you. You can at least see who's won it. But if we see there, look, it only shows you that they've won recent ones. So yeah, let's just imagine he won many Saudi Arabian trophies. Last but not least, we're going to have a look at Thiago Lopez. We've had to go back to 2033. This is his last year, and after this he retires and just disappears. Don't want to be a coach or anything, but the guy comes from a very wealthy family, and now he's only 33, but he's been on the mass. He's been on decline. His physicals, he does not care. He's just not got the attitude. And the one thing I've noticed, when they've got a great attitude, they get stronger and they get better. And I'm guessing when you've got a bad attitude, that's when you start losing the pace, losing your stamina, your strength. And now he's still got his technique, but he can't dribble anymore. His first touch is better. So as he got older, his technique went down one, and his first touch went up one. Look at his career; it's been a bit all over the place. I mean, we knew he was at Deportivo, and we knew they were trying to get rid of him. They ended up selling him to Portimonense, I think, in Portugal. We play in the top flight league. They got him for a cut price deal, 325 grand. He didn't play much, but in the second year he did. In 28 games, he only scored 1 goal, set 1 goal up. And this is from a right winger. It's not good. He went in a free, ended up playing probably his biggest season ever, setting up 4 goals. And that helping him get promoted, to be fair, because it looks like they got promoted the next year. He played 9 games, then he left on a free, stayed in Portugal, dropped back down a league, and then his last year, I'm guessing this is a real low level division, and he's not played for him. Quick look at his competitions just in case, because I did have the Portuguese leagues running, and apart from that Youth Cup he won with Liverpool, the only other competition of any note was his relegation from the Liga. So yeah, it's been a bit disappointing for Thiago. There we go, that is the end of the Lost Boys. Hopefully you enjoyed that enough to smash the like button, and if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed it enough to subscribe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the specific save files in a bundle for you to download. So there'll be the beginning save file, which is basically the updated Boodiverse with all my stories together in one, and then I'll put the different end files in it if you want. So if you're a bit of a geek, I know some of you like to look at stuff yourself, I'll stick them out there for you. You can have a look at things in a bit more detail if you want. Feel free to do that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you want to be under a chance to win these amazing gaming headphones, and trust me, they are amazing, go and check out episode 49 of my Denton Villa series. All the details will be in that episode on how to enter. And good luck if you do. And again, thanks for watching. You've been amazing. I've been Bood. I'll see you next time.